May we kindly request that you rise as we formally welcome the academic procession.
By virtue of powers vested in me on behalf of the Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Professor Prof Mthembu, we constitute this congregation for the purpose of orientation.
Good morning. Good morning. Sanbonani. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Professor Thandwa Izizwe Mthembu, to welcome you to this, the Vice-Chancellor's welcome address and the Parents' Day. Let me acknowledge the presence of parents, sponsors, stakeholders, and most importantly, our first-year students. It is with great honor and profound privilege that we welcome you to the Durban University of Technology. DUT is far more than an institution of higher learning. It is an engaged academic community founded on shared responsibility and collective accountability. Together, we uphold and advance the DUT identity, carrying its values and principles with pride while contributing meaningfully to the social, economic, and intellectual development of our nation and the global community. Central to this commitment is our educational philosophy, which says our creativity and innovation shapes adaptive graduates who transform society. This philosophy transcends words on a page. It is a living ethos, purposefully embedded in our teaching, research, student support, and developmental initiatives. These are deliberately designed to foster intellectual growth, resilience, and innovation throughout your academic journey. In choosing DUT, you are joining a university that recognizes each student as a valued individual rather than a mere number. We acknowledge your unique potential and your journey of self-discovery, transformation, and lifelong learning. Our commitment is to equip you with the knowledge, skills, and ethical grounding necessary to navigate complex situations so that you can be able to adapt to change and contribute thoughtfully and responsibly to the transformation of society. In his book, Build to Last, Jim Collins observes, I quote, "You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never afford to lose, with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, whatever they might be." Close quote. This underscores a fundamental truth of the student journey. Success is not a matter of aspiration alone, but of sustained commitment, discipline, and accountability. The outcomes of your experience as a student at DUT will be largely determined by the choices you make and the effort you invest in. This includes seeking assistance when support is required, engaging diligently with assignments and examinations, maintaining a clear and consistent study schedule, and attending lectures and practical sessions with purpose. Equally important is your active participation in co-curricular and extracurricular programs, which will enrich your personal and professional development. Above it all, it requires a focused, determined, and successful progress to graduate within the prescribed time. The ADAPT at DUT First Year Orientation Week marks only the beginning of your academic journey. During this period, you will be introduced to a comprehensive range of services, programs, and interventions specifically designed to support, enable, and enrich your university experience. To ensure that your transition into higher education is as positive, empowering, and successful, you need to listen with intention to learn and get yourself engaged. This marks the beginning of your journey, and with these words, I was actually welcoming you, our first years, and wishing you the best during the 2026 academic year. Now, I would like to introduce our senior managers and executives who are on stage. In absentia, the Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Indumiso Mthembu, and I'll also like to introduce the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Teaching and Learning, Professor Vusi Gumede. We also have the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Teaching, Research, Innovation and Engagement, Professor Fulufelo Nemabula. Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Interim, People and Operations, Dr. David Muhali. In the Office of the Vice-Chancellor, the Advisor and Executive for Institutional Review, Prof Ngidi. In the Vice-Chancellor's Office, Director of Special Projects, Dr. Shozi Ngumalo. The Institutional Registrar, Dr. Madizani Nkunwani. Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Sboniso Shabalala. The Interim Executive Dean in the Management Sciences Faculty, Prof Swanepoel. Director of Campuses in the Midlands, Dr. Mtiani. Chief Risk Officer, Dr. Nyanginzimbi. Executive Dean, Health Sciences Faculty, Prof Nkunu. We also have the HOD of Finance and Information Management, Dr. Tandukwazi Ngube. Interim Director, Student Services, Midlands, Ms. Stembile Mjadu. Academic Development Practitioner, Prof. Livingston Magondo. Director, Library Services, Dr. Paladi. The SRC President, Mr. Sihle Nkosi. The SRC Deputy President, Mr. Kawe Mtengu. The Secretary General, Mr. Samkelo Ngubo. Executive Dean in Accounting and Informatics, Prof Olukbara. Interim Executive Dean, Engineering and Built Environment, Prof Ramabodu. And my name, ladies and gentlemen, it's Clement Moreko, the Dean of Students. Thank you so much.
All right, can we give Dr. Clement Moreko a huge round of applause? At this point in time, I'd like to welcome the SRC President, Mr. Sihle Nkosi. Can we give him a huge round of applause?
To the Vice-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Prof Mthembu in his absentia, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Teaching and Learning, Prof Gumede, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Research, Innovations and Engagement, Professor Nemavola, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Peoples and Operation, Dr. Muhale, our Institutional Registrar, Dr. Nkonwane, Campus Director, Midlands Campuses, Dr. Mtiane, the Dean of Students, Dr. Moreko, the Executive Deans or the Faculty Deans of our faculties, the managers, student services, members of staff, student leaders, parents and guardians who are present here, and most importantly, our first-time entering students. A wonderful greetings to you all, and all protocol is observed. It is with great pride and humility and deep sense of responsibility that I stand here today before you on behalf of the SRC to deliver a message of support to you first years, because today marks a beginning of a new chapter in your lives, a chapter defined by opportunity, by growth, discovery, and transformation. First and foremost, I would love to congratulate you for being here, because being here today means we have overcome many challenges to earn you a place at this institution. As the former president, Mr. Solomon Zolega, once said, leli thuba nilitholile lokuba nizofunda la esikhungweni semfundo ephakeme liyinqa izivele. Ingakho ke kumele nilibambe njengezikhali zamantunga. Either whether your journey to duty was smooth or filled with obstacles, but today you are here and your presence here at duty matters the most. Because transitioning from high school to a university can be overwhelming. Sometimes you may feel excited, nervous, uncertain, or even afraid that, and you must actually relax, because that is completely normal. University space is not only about academic learning. It is about discovering who you are, learning how to think critically, managing your time, working with others, and finding strength to rise even when things become difficult. As the University of Technology Duty is committed to producing graduates who are not just academically competent, but who are also adaptive, who are innovative, socially conscious, and ready to contribute meaningfully to the societies. This commitment is captured in our Envision 2030 strategy, which seeks to build a learning environment that is creative, inclusive, sustainable, and responsive to the needs and the future of our communities. However, there is no vision that can be realized without people. So then that's where you come in. At duty, we are guided by our living values. and you can see them, they are embedded in your t-shirts, which are respect, integrity, honesty, compassion, accountability, commitment, and excellence. These values are not just words in paper, but they are there to guide you how to treat one another, how you engage with your lecturers, staff, how you respond to pressure, and how you conduct yourselves as the members of this academic community. Your success at duty will require a great sense of discipline, consistency, and active participation. You must attend your classes, engage with lecturers, tutorials, ask questions, and seek help when you need it. You must make sure that you make use of the support services that are available to you, which may possibly be academic advising, maybe tutoring, maybe student counseling, maybe resident support, maybe student governance structures, because there is no strength in struggling alone. And as the SRC, we must speak honestly, students, because there is a concerning culture across the higher education where some students disengage from class attendance because they believe that platforms such as YouTube and artificial intelligence can replace active learning. But the reality is clear. The students who attend classes, engage with lecturers, and participate consistently, they perform better academically. So you must make sure that you prioritize your classes, you attend your classes, you participate in the academic journey actively for you to be able to perform well in your academics. Because technology is not a tool to substitute the academic learning, it's not a tool to substitute discipline, presence, and effort. Then we therefore encourage you to participate fully in student life. This may mean that you need to join clubs and societies, you must take part in co-curricular and extracurricular activities, you must engage in sport, arts and culture, you must engage in innovation and leadership platforms such as student parliament when opportunities arise. University life is richer and more meaningful when you are involved. As the SRC president and someone who has worked this journey as a student leader while maintaining a strong academic performance, I can assure you that balance is possible. With the right habits, support systems, and mindset, you can succeed both academically and personally. And you must never make the mistake of being active in leadership and all these activities that I've mentioned, and then use them as a reason, or rather as a justification of your academic decline. As first-year students, you are not just a recipient of education, but you are future leaders, innovators, professionals, and change makers. The habits that you build here at this life or this year at duty will actually shape the rest of your academic journey. You must be curious, you must be resilient, and be patient with yourself. Remember that setbacks does not define you, but how you respond to them does. In closing, I want to remind you that you are not alone. DUT is your academic home. As our institutional registrar always say to us, "Kusekhaya la, kufanele nikhululeke." Because the university staff, management, the student services, the SRC is committed in working with this journey with you. We will support you, we will advocate for you, and we will make sure that we will ensure that your student experience is meaningful, safe, and empowering. You must believe in yourself, you must trust the process, and never be afraid to ask for help whenever you need it. And once again, let me welcome you to the Durban University of Technology. We wish you success, growth, and fulfilling university experience. And I now take this opportunity to introduce the Student Representative Council, which will be your voice at campus, will be your representatives, and will be your partners in this journey. We have a number of leadership structures that we have at duty that includes house committees, CHE, even clubs and societies. But they all work together with the SRC. So it is pivotal for you to be able to see them and know them, so that whenever you have issues, then you will know where to report and you will get the correct information. So I will start with I will call them so that they can just stand here in front, and then you will be able to see them as a group. But some of our members are attending some sessions at Durban. So I'll start with our Deputy President, Mr. Prof Mthembu. Our Secretary General, Samgelo Ngubo. Our Deputy Secretary General, Pegantombela. The Finance Officer, Mr. Talent Mteshan. Tiwa uye nozonifakela ama-allowances a-NSFAS. We have our Project Officer, PMB, Ayanda Dlungwane. We have Project Officer Deben Simpiwe Sosibo. We have Sports and Recreations Officer PMB Ngobani Buthelezi. We have Sports and Recreation Deben Mangoba Nkosi. We have Social and Welfare PMB Campuses Piltiwe Mayeza. We also have a Social and Welfare Officer, which is Bongile Ndlovu, who's not present here today, is based at Durban. We have Academics Officer PMB Charles Junior Kaliango. Then we have Organizations and Accommodations Officer PMB Samgelo Ngobo. Then there are some of the SRC members who are not here today because of some few commitments that we have to take care in Durban. But these are the faces that will be representing you the rest of the year. And you must know them. Whenever you have issues, you can report to them. As I have mentioned, this is not the leadership structures that we have within the institution. We are still going to meet other ones along the week. Thank you very much. Siyabulela.
Right now, can we welcome our DUT Mass Choir to give us a music interlude? Thank you.
Sanbona nonke kulomuzi sanbona siyanibingelela sanbona nonke kulomuzi siyanibingelela
sanbona nonke kulomuzi sanbona siyanibingelela sanbona nonke kulomuzi siyanibingelela
sanbona nonke kulomuzi sanbona siyanibingelela sanbona nonke kulomuzi siyanibingelela
sanbona nonke kulomuzi sanbona siyanibingelela sanbona nonke kulomuzi siyanibingelela
awuthina sinibuza impilo
esha mama 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 esha mama
halala halala siyanibongela halala siyanibongela we
halala halala sanbongela halala halala sanbongela
halala siyanibongela halala halala siyanibongela mama we
halala halala sanbongela halala halala sanbongela
asebevele bethumutha
abantu abakholwa ukuthi siyazenzela abantu abakholwa ukuthi siyazenzela intandane enhle enonina intandane enhle enonina abantu abakholwa ukuthi siyazenzela
awusinsizwa ngenta abafana sinsizwa ngenta 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 hey sinsizwa ngenta abafana sinsizwa ngenta awuthi sinsizwa ngenta abafana sinsizwa ngenta awusinsizwa ngenta abafana sinsizwa ngenta awungithi sinsizwa ngenta abafana sinsizwa ngenta ngithi sinsizwa ngenta abafana sinsizwa ngenta awungithi sinsizwa ngenta abafana sinsizwa ngenta awungithi sinsizwa ngenta abafana
Can we clap those hands for our DUT Mass Choir? All right, at this point in time, to deliver the Vice-Chancellor's address, I will invite DVC Teaching and Learning Prof Vusi Gumede.
Sanbonani, Program Director, members of the Executive and Senior Management Team, Registrar, Dean of Students, colleagues from Student Services, Director, Midland Campuses, academic staff, professors and lecturers here, support services staff, the SRC President, members of the SRC, and the Student Parliament, leadership of clubs and societies, volunteers and the Orientation Week organizing team, our esteemed first-year students, parents, guardians, and family members, stakeholders, supporters, and funders, ladies and gentlemen. To our first-year students, particularly, welcome to Durban University of Technology. I congratulate each of you on your admission. Out of about 231,000 applicants, you were selected as one of the 9,416. Only about 4% of applications were received. Who have been admitted and are registered or registering, we congratulate you. Today marks a defining moment in your lives and careers you will pursue. By choosing this university, you have chosen a creative, distinctive, impactful university. To parents, family members, guardians, funders, sponsors of our university and the students, thank you for trusting us with these young people. Today, you are opening them up to the world, relying on the values, the principles, the discipline, and the love you have already instilled in them. We look forward to partnering with you as these young people grow, discover who they are, learn how to make a meaningful contribution to society. DUT stands for Durban University of Technology, but it also stands for different, upended, transformed. DUT has grown into one of the most respected universities, not only in South Africa, but globally, having demonstrated between 2020 and 2023 that we are different. Since 2024, we've been upending on some of the most important academic criteria. DUT leads all 6 universities of technology in South Africa. And some of international rankings, like the Times Higher Education World Rankings, University Rankings, have been confirming this since 2020. We have begun to compete favorably against several traditional universities here in South Africa and beyond. Several local universities have been in existence for over 60 years. DUT is only 21-year-old. You may have noticed that parts of our campuses, especially in Durban, look like a beautiful mess. There is construction, noise, and disruption. We assure you that this inconvenience is temporary. What we are witnessing is investment in the future, modern state-of-the-art infrastructure, improved learning spaces, better residencies, and facilities that reflect our ambition. This beautiful mess bears evidence to the effect that DUT is planning for a bright future. Everything we must achieve individually and collectively rests on the concepts of shared purpose, shared responsibility, and shared accountability. DUT's progress has been made through the discipline, commitment, and hard work of generations of academics, of students, professional and administrative staff, progressive alumni, and partners. Their legacy must not be taken lightly. As you join this community, that responsibility now rests on each and every one of you and all of us collectively. Protect what has been built. Act in ways that strengthen it. Leave this institution better, stronger, and more resilient, and more respectable. The SRC president spoke about Envision 2030. Let me make a few remarks around that. As you walk around our campuses, you will see the caption Envision 2030 everywhere. This is not just a slogan. This one-page strategy map defines DUT's vision for transformation by 2030 and beyond. It speaks to our values and principles, our DNA, our people, academic and related systems, resources, including infrastructure, sustainability, and our impact in society. As you become part of this institution, you will come to understand this vision and your responsibility in advancing it. And Vision 2030 has given birth to many institutional projects, one of which is DUT's brand new philosophy of education, predicated on several strategic objectives. The 10-word statement that defines this philosophy as follows: our creativity and innovation shape adaptive graduates who transform society. This statement governs what we teach, how we learn, how we engage our society and the world over. And Vision 2030 is ultimately about DUT people contributing to the lives and livelihoods of our broader society. Learning at DUT is intentionally embedded in creativity, in innovation, practice, technology, and problem solving. We want you to live here not only with a qualification, but with the ability to think critically, to act ethically, lead responsibly as you transform our societies and their economies. Innovation and entrepreneurship are not optional at DUT. They are at the core of what our philosophy of education demands of all of us. Here at DUT, our aim is not only to produce graduates who are ready to work, but graduates who are capable of creating work, employers rather than job seekers. You will not just be educated and trained for the workplace, but to upend and transform through creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship. Creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship are embedded at DUT by design and not by default. They are not tangential to our academic project, but integral to it. As our Vice-Chancellor and Principal, Professor Prof Mthembu, said in his inaugural address in March 2017, my little dream, more probable at a university of technology, is that if out of approximately 27,000 students we enroll, we could graduate just 0.05%. That is about 14 students. That was about 14 students in 2017. As trained and tested entrepreneurs, DUT would begin to fundamentally transform the economy of our cities and our region. This, as I indicated, was in 2017 when DUT had about 27,000 students registered. Our enrollment this year should be at about 34,000, and thus that number of 14 students envisaged in 2017 will be higher. Of course, we acknowledge that not everyone will be an entrepreneur, but we will awaken that entrepreneurial spirit in everything you do. Will do even though not all of you will be entrepreneurs. While employment remains important, the realities of our economy demand more. We encourage you to embrace innovation and entrepreneurship as tools for solving real-life problems, creating sustainable livelihoods, and making tangible contribution to our societies and their economies. And Vision 2030 also envisions a holistic educational experience which does not end in lecture halls. One of our strategic objectives is distinctive education, which is about creating a compelling and future-oriented learning and living environment through a variety of initiatives, including core and extracurricular activities. We encourage you to be fully engaged, join clubs, societies, leadership structures, and community projects. SRC President, not nightclubs. When we say join clubs, we talk about societies in the university. Through these spaces, you will develop confidence, skills for collaborative work, ethical leadership, and a sense of civic responsibility. These experiences will ultimately shape not only your professional lives, but your personal and social identities too. It will be amiss of us if we do not speak about DUT values and principles. These are guided by DUT's lived values framework. DUT's values are transparency, honesty, integrity, respect, and accountability. And our principles are fairness, professionalism, commitment, compassion, and excellence. These are not just words on a page. DUT has an interpretive guide on them embedded in the living values framework. Please familiarize yourselves with them and live them, these values, and embrace our principles. A university is a complex, multicultural, and multinational educational space. Just on its own, it is an unfamiliar environment to you. It is replete with traditions, conventions, and ways of doing things you could not necessarily have been exposed to. As such, it may cause a lot of anxiety. We encourage you to take time to understand what the university's purpose is, what is its nature, and its ways of doing things, particularly here at DUT and the DUT way. In addition to this educational complexity, there's yet another level of social complexity. A university brings together people from diverse backgrounds, cultures, and perspectives. We encourage you to make friends, to explore beyond comfort zones, try new ideas, engage with people who may be different from you. Be open-minded, be curious, and respectful. It is through these interactions that you will grow not only academically, but socially and as a global citizen too. Above all, as you engage with others and learn more, please do not waver on our values and principles and the good ones you are coming with from your homes and communities. Too often, we see good students lose their way, not because of lack of potential, not because of lack of ability, but because of the choices they make and the company they keep and the paths they decide to follow and the pitfalls they grope into blindly or with eyes open. To mitigate this, just base all your decisions on the values and the principles. Call out your friends who act in ways inimical to the values and the principles. In the presence of your families, parents, guardians, sponsors, we would like to acknowledge that there is a growing and a serious concern regarding mental health among students in the higher education sector. The complexities referred to above contribute to this. As confusion and anxiety set in, these may lead to depression or even more serious mental health problems. The reasons are not just about the university itself and its people, but about you and the choices you make. You are not alone in this. D2 has a range of services and support systems available to you. Needless to say, you are entering university at a time when social media shapes opinions, identities, and movements. You are under constant camera lenses of your fellow students and many others who fit these into social media. DUT respects freedom of expression. It is a constitutional right and a cornerstone of academic life. However, freedom always comes with responsibility and accountability. Your digital footprint follows you in your lecture halls, laboratories, boardrooms, in the industry, and in the communities. You will wonder why you keep on looking for a job and not getting employed, when in fact it might be what you have done that's in the social media or what you have said. Freedom of speech must never become an excuse for harm. Misinformation, it must never be an excuse for harm, for misinformation and disrespect for others. Remember, as students at DUT, you now represent the DUT brand in everything you say, you do. A university is a place of reason and debate, facts and evidence, and the pursuit of truth. Thus, we expect you to engage critically, disagree respectfully, speak responsibly, use your voice to build, not to destroy. Being a DUT student means understanding the rights and responsibilities come together, go together. Upholding our values and principles and let them guide your actions. Uphold our values and principles, I beg your pardon, and let them guide your actions. Upholding our values and principles is not just about you, it is also about your stewardship to your families, parents, communities, and the broader society. By making responsible decisions today, you are ensuring that 3 or 4 years down the line, your families, your parents, your guardians will be here beaming with pride, shedding tears of joy, celebrating, dancing, and rejoicing at your graduation. In closing, our Vice-Chancellor's wish for you is simple. Guard our values and principles jealously, succeed and launch your careers, be ready to face volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity in the world, and in DUT particularly. Above all, be ready to contribute towards improving the lives and livelihoods of our broader society through transforming our societies and their economies. As you do all of this, remember what John Wooden, a late American basketball coach, is reported to have said. Ability may take you to the top, but it takes character to keep you there. DUT's values and principles are meant to build your character, which will keep you up there, whatever your level of achievement. Welcome to a university that challenges you, believes in you, expects a lot from you, a DUT that is creative, distinctive, and impactful. Welcome to DUT. Thank you.
Can we give Prof Vusi Gumede another hand clap? I will now afford an opportunity to our DUT Mass Choir to give us a music interlude. Oh, that was amazing. Asibashayeleni izandla ezinkulu. Baze bacula kamnandi. Now to lead us On the Envision 2030 Student Pledge is Dr. Clement Moreko, the Dean of Students. Can we give him a round?
Thank you, Program Director. In a distinctive DUT way, may I invite all the first years to rise as you'll be making a solemn promise before your parents, before your family members, before the staff, support and academics. This is quite a very critical moment because you are now going to make a commitment. And this is a DUT way. That's how we do things here at home, where you need to be committing to whatever you will be doing towards our values and principles. So the DUT Envision 2030 Student Pledge goes as follows. You will be repeating after me. As a student of the Durban University of Technology, I commit to the upholding the values, principles, and strategy of this institution throughout my academic journey. I commit to demonstrate the DUT living values of integrity, respect, excellence, commitment, and honesty in fostering shared accountability and responsibility to achieve the DUT way. I will strive for academic excellence and success. I will prioritize my studies and seek assistance such as academic support, libraries, and other programs for holistic success. I pledge to hold the highest standards of academic integrity. I will not engage in plagiarism, cheating, or any form of dishonest academic behavior. I'm willing to embrace an entrepreneurial mindset that inspires creativity and innovation. I commit to respect diversity. I will contribute to creating a safe and inclusive environment where my fellow students and staff members feel valued. I will actively participate in lectures, tutorials, clubs and societies, and other activities for personal and professional growth. I will take responsibility for my physical and mental health by maintaining balance between academic, social, and personal life. I commit to become a responsible, accountable, and active member of DUT, using my agency to shape a brighter, more inclusive, and sustainable future. I will use my time at DUT to develop critical skills to help me become an adaptive graduate who will improve lives and livelihoods. So I commit. Thank you so much. You are welcome to DUT.
All right, we may all be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the first part of this program. I will now ask our institutional registrar to give us closing remarks. Can we please give him a hand as he is about to ascend the podium?
Dumelang, sanbonane, molweni, namachironi, absheni, realocha, moromba khaitsu, khuyamore, good morning, eitada. Mr. Program Director, our acting Vice-Chancellor and DVC Teaching and Learning, Prof Vusi Gumede, Deputy Vice-Chancellors in attendance, members of the Executive Management Committee in attendance, members of Senate in attendance, colleagues and friends of DUT in attendance, parents, spouses, partners, guardians, and sponsors of our F10 students, and last but not least, our 2026 bundles of joy. What a year to be at this great university. What a year in time and in history to be part of this great university. You are a very fortunate cohort in 2026 because you are joining DUT as we conclude our upended period of our Envision 2030. And by the time you complete and graduate, you will graduate from a DUT that is fully transformed. And yes, what a time to be part of this great university. To the parents, guardians, and sponsors here present, on behalf of DUT community, we would like to express our gratitude and appreciation for you trusting this great university with the lives of your bundles of joy. I stand here in making a promise to the parents that in 3-4 years' time, when we send them back home, there will definitely be different people than what you leave them with here. By so saying, I would like to urge you to leave them with us because we act in loco parentis, in the place of parents. Collectively seated here, we have a collective experience running into hundreds of years of making a contribution to young people. May I also acknowledge the leadership of our SRC under the President, Sihle Nkosi. As the President was introducing SRC, it was not just a mere parading of SRC members. It was for a good cause, because they represent your interests, and they are the only legitimate body that represents your interest and entitled by the Higher Education Act of 1997 as amended to lead you and provide direction. There will be many in a number of T-shirts who will masquerade as SRC. Be very careful, especially if you want to complete your qualifications record time. You are led by an SRC of achievers. Quite a number of them will be graduating. Even your president, in the history of this institution, will be the first president to graduate cum laude with distinction. And by the way, today, the 4th of February, on this day, maybe let me say on this day, the 4th of February, 2019, this day marked my first tenure at this great university as a dean of students. And God was what was referred then as a baptism of fire, having to deal with tumultuous and violent student protests. And I urge the 2026 court to really come out and stand up as the voices of the so-called silent majority in opposing things that do not add value to what you've just pledged to. I have every trust in our SRC that it will provide you with direction. As soon as you have access to our electronic media, especially emails, you will from time to time come across seminal statements that they've issued in providing direction to the student body. Way back in 2019, we had a different type. And unfortunately, those that chose to behave the way they did, we've thrown them in a dustbin of oblivion. We've forgotten about them because you matter now. And I urge you to focus on your studies and be the best you can ever be, and that only the sky should be the limit. May I finally thank all colleagues, especially senior colleagues, who've set time aside to welcome our 2026 bundles of joy. And may I also thank our melodious voices, the DUT Chorale, for rendering us musical items. Thank you very much. May you have a pleasant orientation week as we ease ourselves into the commencement of lectures as scheduled on Monday, the 9th of February. Ngiyabonga.
Ladies and gents, our institutional registrar. We have now come to the end of the first session. You are kindly requested to stand for the singing of the national anthem. Gentlemen are asked to remove their headgear, and you are respectfully reminded not to clap at the conclusion of the anthem. Please remain standing thereafter as the academic procession exits the venue. DUT Chorale, please lead the way.
ufedise dintswani matshwenye usibuluke sitjhaba sa Yesu sitjhaba sa South Africa a diplom van ons seyeme en die diepte van ons ons weggebergtes van die kranse antwoord sounds the call to come together and united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing and allow the academic procession to exit the venue.
Noma ngabe izindle zodaka Noma ngabe izindle zodaka Kusekhaya la Noma ngabe izindle zodaka Kusekhaya la Noma ngabe izindle zodaka Gibeli pasi la